Yo, what's up everybody? My name is Reese Ketler and I'm paralyzed from the chest down. In today's video, we're going to be doing a Q&A on all things that include paralysis, my daily life, dating, and everything in between. I put up an Instagram story the other day so you guys can ask questions. Question number one. The first question is, did some people treat you differently after the accident? Yes, a lot of people treated me differently after the accident. Some of my closest friends were scared to come see me because they couldn't imagine seeing me in a vulnerable state like that. And even when I go to the gym, I get a lot of pity. Like people would be like, "You're so inspiring for going to the gym." And when I was able-bodied, I never had a single person come up to me and say I was inspiring to go to the gym. I know they mean well, but I definitely do get treated a lot differently now that I'm in a wheelchair because I live a pretty normal life in a wheelchair. What sports did you play before your accident? I actually played a number of sports growing up. I played hockey, lacrosse, golf, handball, badminton. I was an all-around athlete. Like if there was a sport in high school, I most likely played it. But my main two were hockey and lacrosse. Started playing hockey at the age of 5 and played right up until my spinal cord injury when I was 19. And to follow up this question, now I play wheelchair rugby and wheelchair basketball. Those are the two sports that interested me the most after my spinal cord injury. I love it because it keeps me active and in shape. It's also nice to have a community of people that have a similar injury to you because it gives you someone to relate with and they actually understand what you're going through. You could speak to like a doctor or anyone else about your injury. They actually haven't gone through it. So talking to teammates, peer mentors, people that have actually been in a wheelchair has really helped me a lot in my recovery. I will forever be grateful for sport in my life. Are you in a relationship? I'm currently single. I'm just waiting for the right one to come along, I guess you could say. How do you keep being so optimistic? I think the reason why I'm so optimistic is because I've gone through the hard stuff already. When you go through something really traumatic, like having a spinal cord injury or something like that, that's your new low. That's your baseline. So anything above that is like a positive. It took me about 2.5 years to really develop the mindset, to really accept my injury. The first year and a half, I'll be honest, I was like really sad about all the things I wouldn't be able to do in my life. And it really made me upset thinking that you only have one life and this is how you're gonna have to live it in a wheelchair. But then eventually I developed the mindset that at the end of the day, the sun still comes up. We all have the choice to choose how to handle the situation. You can't go back and change the accident, but you can choose how to live your life from this point on with the cards that you're dealt. Would I say I'm happier than I was before my injury? I'd say I'm about the same or even happier because I've gone through a lot in my life. But I realized that if I can get through that, anything else is like a breeze. What's your biggest pet peeve as a wheelchair user? My biggest pet peeve as a wheelchair user has got to be handicap parking. Every time I go to the mall or a business or anywhere, they're always full. And the reason I need handicap parking is so that I can open my door wide enough so that I can bring my chair over my body, pull it out, and get out of my chair independently. Or people parking way too close to my car, or people parking over the line and boxing me in so I can't get back into my car. Some people that don't even have the placard in their car take up handicap parking. It's definitely my biggest pet peeve. Can you still use your thumb or some of your fingers, or do you have no control at all? I'm a C7 spinal cord injury. That means my hands are paralyzed as well because it's such a high level of injury. On this side, I can only open my hand. I can only pull up, and that's the only movement I have in my fingers. I can't grip or do anything like that. This hand has a lot more function. I can open, I can close, and I can actually move each finger almost by itself, but not quite. The crazy thing is when I got paralyzed, I could not move anything. Like I tell you anything. All my hands were just like this, frozen. And then a week after my injury, I started to see a little wiggle in my thumb. And then 2 weeks later, I started being able to move this finger on this hand. And then with the amount of rehab I've done to try and get my hands to work better, this hand has really come along. This hand is still much better than what it was, but you know, who knows? Things are still happening and it's been 5 years since my spinal cord injury. Do you deal with autonomic dysreflexia? Yes, I actually do. Autonomic dysreflexia is a potential life-threatening condition that affects people with spinal cord injuries. Typically at or above the T6 level. So I'm a C6-7 spinal cord injury. I deal with autonomic dysreflexia all the time. It tends to happen when there's an overreaction of the autonomic nervous system to a stimulus. So for me, I'll get autonomic dysreflexia when I have a full bladder, or I sit on something sharp, or need to go number 2. These are all things that can cause autonomic dysreflexia. And if I don't find the root cause of the issue right away, I'll get like a pounding headache, goosebumps on my skin, just start sweating from my head down. My blood pressure shoots up. This can actually be life-threatening, and people can actually have a stroke because of this. Because since I can't feel what's going wrong or where it is on my body, I need to figure out as soon as possible what's the issue. This could even be from having a hangnail or sit on a zipper and it like digs into your skin, but you don't know what the issue is. So really, you just need to be careful when you have autonomic dysreflexia and deal with it as soon as possible. Where do you get that beautiful smile? Honestly, my parents blessed me. That's all I can say. How much did it cost for your home renovations to be accessible for you? First off, I'm gonna say what we actually had to renovate for our house. So because my house has 5 stairs to get into, we needed to get a wheelchair lift from the garage so I could lift up into the house. So we have one in the garage, one in the backyard so I can use the patio in the summer. We fully renovated my bathroom. In an upcoming video, I'm gonna do a full bathroom review of what we did and how we made it be one of the nicest wheelchair accessible bathrooms I've ever seen. This thing is perfect for what I need on the day-to-day. Another thing was we needed to put a little ramp going from my living room to my main floor. This was only about a 6-inch drop, but in a wheelchair, that's like quite a bit. So we just put it in like a 2.5-foot ramp, which is perfect for what I need. I'm not entirely sure how much it costs. I just know it was super expensive for all the renovations we did. I'm lucky enough and I'm grateful enough that I was able to get this accommodation for my bathroom. Do you want kids, and how do you deal with dating? I could definitely see myself having kids one day. Since I was young, I've always wanted to be a father. I have a lot of life experience that I could pass on and teach them. And yes, I can still have kids even though I'm paralyzed. I think that's a common misconception, is that you can't have kids if you have a spinal cord injury, or people just aren't educated on that topic. All the people I know with a spinal cord injury that want to have kids can have kids. I don't think dating's much different than when I was able-bodied. Of course, it's a little bit different. Not everyone has the preference of dating someone in a wheelchair. For me, I embraced my disability. There's really nothing to be shy about. I act the same as I acted before my spinal cord injury. I could see for a lot of people that just recently got paralyzed, you can't imagine a life where they'll feel confident enough to go up to a girl or talk to someone they like because they feel like they're not enough. Probably 2 years after my injury, I really got my confidence back, started working out a lot in the gym. That just gave me something to work as hard as I could towards something. Working out definitely built up my confidence because it just made me feel like I had something to work towards. Where in Canada are you at? I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. It's the center of Canada. Honestly, one of the toughest places to live being in a wheelchair because we have snow 4 months of the year and it's frigid temperatures. So getting around in Winnipeg is actually really difficult for me because you can only push through so much snow. You can't just do everything by yourself. So on a day when there's tons of snow, I usually call my mom, my dad, a buddy. I'm getting them to push me through the snow because sidewalks aren't clear. The parking lots don't get cleared right away either. It's already difficult enough to manage the world in a wheelchair. Add snow on top of that, it's just like extremely difficult. What made you want to pursue social media? The reason I wanted to pursue social media was that I felt like I could help someone out there. Whether it be someone with a spinal cord injury or someone that deals with like depression. I feel like my content, I really promote positivity and show people that your life is not over. Mindset is a very powerful thing and you can really overcome anything you set your mind to. You can't control the cards you're dealt, but you can control how you handle the situation. I'm so grateful for all the people that DM me on a daily basis. They're like, I love your content. You really give me hope that life is gonna get better and you're just really inspiring. I appreciate those messages every single day. I try and get back to as many as possible. When you think about giving up, what keeps you going? Family and friends are really the people that you go to when times get tough. For myself, my mom, my dad, and my brother really have been integral, supporting me and keeping me on the right track, because I honestly don't know what I would do without them and their support that they've given me over the last 5 years. Would you ever like to model? I've been getting this comment a lot asking if I would ever want to model. If you would have asked me this 2 years ago, I would have been like, no way. But the more comments I see, the more I realize that this could actually be a potential thing. Got a few agencies that have reached out, so who knows? Maybe in the next year you'll be seeing me in a campaign. I think this would be a great opportunity, and I'm all for taking opportunities. Are people understanding of your disability in public? I think people are understanding of my disability in public, but I do tend to get stared at a lot. When I first got injured, I'll be honest, this actually used to bother me because I just wanted to fit in like everybody else. But then for some reason, I just woke up one day and I was like, yeah, you should be staring. I don't know how my mindset flipped like that. And now it doesn't bother me. I think a lot of people try and help out a lot. People always ask, you need me to push you? Can I get that for you? I understand that people are just trying to be helpful, but some people are really trying to overstep it. And I'll be like, no, I'm okay. And then they'll actually like just grab my chair anyway and try and push me. And I'm like, I said I'm okay. How old are you? I'm 24 years old and my birthday is actually on February 10th and I'm turning 25. 25, can you believe that? Like, how am I turning 25? Like, bro. Can you feel below your injury level? So I actually do have feeling below the level of my injury. I'm paralyzed from the chest down. My spinal cord injury is incomplete. I don't really have soft touch, which means if a feather was put on my leg, I probably wouldn't be able to feel it depending on the spot, but I do have deep tissue. So if I like push hard on my muscle, it feels like a massage, like it feels normal. A big misconception is that when you're paralyzed, you can't feel nothing. And for me, I still have sensation below the level of my injury. It's just not the same as what it was before my injury. What's one bit of advice that you would give yourself after the accident? Probably the biggest piece of advice that I would tell my younger self that just had his spinal cord injury is that life will get better. So when I first got injured, my only goal was to walk again. And I actually believed that I was gonna walk out of that hospital. It's good to set goals, but attainable goals. And for me, I just say take things one day at a time and control what you can control. What are some goals or things that you'd like to accomplish? One of my biggest goals I'd like to accomplish is make the 2028 Paralympic team for Team Canada wheelchair rugby. I feel like this would be a great opportunity, but this is one of my lifelong goals is to make the Olympics, but now since my spinal cord injury, the Paralympics. I believe I have the work ethic to get there. I just need to hone in on my skills. What are some of your hobbies since you became paralyzed? Some of my hobbies that I took up after being paralyzed include puzzles, Lego. Really never did before my spinal cord injury, but it gave me something to do. I want to ask you a question. What kinds of videos would you guys like to see on this channel? Comment down below, and if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe and stay along for this journey. Please like the video, you won't want to miss it. 2025 is going to be a takeover, and I'm so happy to bring you guys along on this YouTube journey.